Well, hey there, everybody. And I have a rare pallet find today. This is probably the only third pallet like this that I have ever found. And as you notice, there's no spacing in between the cross slats. This is pine. Okay, actually came from my neighbor's house. They're renovating a house over here. Flooring was delivered on this. They were going to throw it away. I can't let a pallet be thrown away. And these are really nice because you don't have to dismantle the pallet to build something. I'm going to turn this pallet into a very simple, big, large table. You could call it a coffee table. It's going to be outside, but that's going to be the height. It's just going to be a table that you can put some chairs around. People could eat on it, set their drinks on it, do whatever you want to do. But very simple. Again, I don't like to show you all the cutting parts of the project. I'm going to cut all the wood, come back in, show you what I've done. I'll show you part of the assembly, and then you'll see the end product. Because remember, what I like my channel for is to give you ideas that you can then do something with what you've got. Because again, that's what I do. I take something that I have, come up with an idea what I want for it, and then make it. So let's go through this project. I'll get with you after I've got my lumber cut. Let me show you what I'm using for my lumber to make the legs and the skirts for around this table. This are pine pallet boards that I got from some other pallet at some point in time. They're nice and thick. They're like 3/4 of an inch thick and very wide. So I'm able to trim these down to the size that I need. So my first step is all I'm doing is I'm using my straightening jig, which again, this is all over the internet. You can find anywhere how to make a straightening jig. I clamp the board down, run it through my table saw and give me one good straight edge. So therefore, when I cut everything to width, when I rip everything, I'll have two good straight edges. Let me do this last one. So the principle of the straightening jig is this piece of wood on the bottom, which was just a piece of MDF, has a straight edge. That straight edge runs up against my fence, so therefore the saw will cut a perfectly parallel edge over here. Then I use that edge, flip the board over, and cut it to width. Okay? Now, I'm going to rip these to width. I'll get back, I'll show you the widths that I'm going to use, that I've got, and how this table is going to come together. All right, I've got my boards cut to width. I've got two boards cut to 4 inches wide. These are going to be the legs. Each one of these boards is going to be cut down to 16-inch segments, okay? And then I've got two boards cut to 3 1/4 inches wide. Now, the 3 1/4 inch side is going to butt up to this board to make a leg. So you got the 3/4 inch thickness of the one board plus the 3 1/4 inch here. That gives you a 4-inch profile. So the legs are going to look 4 inches by 4 inches. Then I've got boards cut to 5 inches wide. These are going to be the skirt boards that go around the pallet to hide the fact that it's a pallet, okay? And so the only part of the pallet that we will see will be those top flat boards. So all I got to do is cut things to length now and start assembly. This is a simple, easy project. Actually, I forgot, I'm going to sand these too. So I'm going to sand, cut things to length, come back, show you the assembly. All right, I've got all my pieces cut to size. I've got one side sanded. I did not sand the other side of the pallet wood. It's going to be unseen. This is going to be an outside table. I didn't care. So this is how my legs are going to go together. The 3 1/4 inch piece is going to sit here, just like that, flush. And then the 4-inch piece will come over and it will cover the edge of the 3 1/4 inch piece, which now will give me two legs with both profiles 4 inches. I'm going to use deck screws to attach the 3 1/4 inch piece. I thought I had some screws that were short enough, but I didn't. To attach these, I'm going to use some nails that I have. And again, it's going to be an outside table. I don't care if you can see the nails or not. So I'm going to move the camera over to the side, give you a better view so everything's not in my way. I'm going to put the legs on, then we'll talk about the skirt boards. Now I am going to pre-drill some holes for these screws. I don't want any splitting going on. And I'm trying to get these screws right in to the side piece here. This big board of the pallet, I want as secure as I can possibly get them. This is quite awkward the way I'm doing this. Okay, not going to screw it in perfectly tight just yet. I want to make sure that it looks nice and square for this one. That looks great. Okay, very good. I may put 2 more in. They go into the actual slat here. I think that would be a smart idea as well. Give me a little more support. Okay, that's great. Now, for sake of this video, speeding things up, I'm going to do this 4-inch piece, and then I'm going to turn the camera off. I'll do the other 3 corners and then come back with you. All right, so I'm going to use a couple of different ways of attaching this. Not only nails, I'm going to drive a couple of these 2.5-inch screws right into these top slats. And then on the connector, the side piece here where the 3 1/4 inch piece and the 4-inch lap over, I'm going to run a bead of glue down through there. And then I'm going to put some 1-inch deck screws in there just because I think that where this table is going to go, that there are going to be people sitting on it. And I don't want these legs. If this was just going to be somewhere where, hey, I knew it was just going to be a little table that people were putting plates on, you know, for eating, then I wouldn't go to this trouble. But because I think I know where it's going to go, if people are sitting on it, I want the integrity, the legs to have some strength to hold people. So let me drive a couple nails first. Boy, I don't drive nails very often anymore. One more nail. Okay, now let me drive these 2.5-inch screws. Nice. Nice. Now, of course, the 1-inch screws use a different bit type than the 2.5-inch screws, and I want to definitely pre-drill these so I don't get any splitting. And I think just 3 along that edge will be plenty. And I'm really driving this one down in there where it almost looks like it's countersunk. Okay, there you go. There's one leg to my table. Now, like I said, I'm gonna cut the camera off. I'm gonna do the other 3 corners, come back and show you how I'm gonna put the skirt boards on there. All right, so here's the basic table with the legs on it. But you can see this end is open. This side doesn't look good. That's where these skirt boards are gonna go to cover that up, to give me a better finished look. So I'm gonna cut those, attach those, and then we'll wrap this project up. All right, here's the finished construction. Now, obviously I'm gonna sand the top to get this smoother, and I'm gonna stain it with some Thompson's water seal that has a color in it. But taking that pallet, putting these legs on there that way and putting these skirt boards on really dresses it up. And when I get that color on it, it's gonna make a nice little outdoor table. I think it's gonna end up down on the bay at a friend of mine's house. These skirt boards here, I didn't have a long enough piece. I had to add a little, about 6-inch piece right there. But again, outdoor furniture. Now, can be used as a table, have some chairs around it, people eating, a nice low table, or just like I'm doing, sitting on it. So, really good. Now remember, you find something, you think you might be able to turn it into something else, you can do it. It's about 12:20. I started this project at 10 o'clock. Now that's with me doing the filming, the videoing, and all of that stuff. Had I just been concentrating, this was an hour-and-a-half project at the most. So something very simple to do, and I've got no money in it. I've got screws and some nails and a little bit of time. So once it sits at the bay, and as everything does, it sits at the bay that's wood. If it's not protected very well all the time, it'll rot. We'll throw it in a pile, we'll burn it. I'll find another pallet, I'll build another one. Well, listen, thanks for coming in. If you enjoyed this project, hit the subscribe button, drop me a comment below, let me know what you think. And I'll see y'all in the next project. And remember, if you got an idea, you can do it.